Okay, I think we're going. Think it's gonna work.
You're listening to Nearly Informed.
Boom! Technology! It worked! I'm pressing all sorts of buttons and knobs in here. We got all sorts of things happening right now. Shereen Thor on the show today. I'm Brian Moote. This is Nearly Informed. We are not snobby and super informed. We're just nearly informed.
Just a little bit.
Well, we were doing some imaging things yesterday for running on radio.com and like some other radio platforms. And we're like, well, what is the show premise? I'm like, well, I mean, I'm kind of up on the news, but I'm not super up on the news and I'm not snobby about it. Well, I'm going to try not to be snobby about it. You are not informed at all, but you're a mom.
Yeah.
You get...
Oh, yeah. Like, if you're nearly informed, I'm barely informed. I get informed by you, Brian.
Okay. Well, I don't know if I'd trust that. I've been immersed in animating calls from Santa Claus to kids.
Which is really adorable.
I've decided I'm just going to learn how to do everything.
I like it.
I'm not good at it. I'm nearly functional.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah, that's exactly what my whole life has been, I think. Like, I can ride a unicycle, but I'm not good enough to, like, make any money off it or, make it some sort of skill. So, anyways, we have Shereen Thor. And so, Shereen, I was watching your Instagram stories.
Oh, yeah?
And what is it like? So, what is the cluster F that the weekend after Thanksgiving is? Like, what is it? Because it becomes Christmas immediately, right? Like,
totally.
You go from 0 to 100, like, immediately.
We're listening to Roger Whittaker. We're getting Christmas trees.
What is Roger Whittaker?
That's some, like, old dude who does some, like, classic Christmas songs that Kenny's mom likes. So it's kind of like tradition in their family, so we got to do it.
Does he sing? Does he play the piano? What does he do?
Oh, I don't even know, but I got to adopt the white people traditions.
Boy. Is that I mean, this may sound super ignorant, but you're Egyptian.
Yeah.
Like, how different are your Christmas traditions than...
oh, my God. Like,
and they're, like, mad white, right? Like, we can safely say that Kenny Thor and the fam are mad white.
They're mad white.
Like, that's a description I feel comfortable saying as a white person, that they're mad white. Like, I'm kind of white. They seem mad white.
You're mad white, dude. What are you
Kinda,
talking
but like,
about? Seattle, Whidbey
No.
Island?
Complexion-wise, white, yes.
Okay.
Tradition-wise, hell no.
Really?
I had a dad go to prison. No one does anything together for Christmas. I mean, if we're lucky, we all did a Christmas truce like 10 years ago when everyone was broke, so no one buys each other anything. So I would say we're very non-traditional.
So that makes you less white. I see.
Super white. Like, white, we know what white is. White is like, you're super white if everyone in your family has, like, their specialty thing that they cook or they make or, like, cookies.
Oh, yeah. Kenny's dad does the pumpkin pies.
Right. See, super white. That's
Totally.
super white. And
Dude.
And you're super white if you get, like, kind of uppity and annoyed if someone else tries to stomp in on your territory. You know what I mean? Like, yo, that, like, no.
Don't touch my pumpkin pies, bro.
Yo, that's Kenny's dad's realm. Don't come in here with your busted, pie from Ralph's. We want homemade.
Homemade.
So what is it like?
I mean, I just, like, go with the white people flow. White people are easier than Egyptian people. The way they
What does that mean?
I mean, like, the way the dishes they cook are less complicated and take less prep. Like, white people food is just easier to make than brown people food.
But it's worse, though. White people food is worse.
Yeah, brown people food is so banging. Like, oh, my God. Like, Thanksgiving at an Egyptian table is, like, heaven. Like,
what do you guys have?
Dude,
what's the difference?
Everything white and brown all at the same time.
So you take all the white people stuff, but you add brown people seasonings.
Yes. Like, we do, like, a turkey with stuffing, like white people stuffing. But then we do, like, brown people stuffing, which is this totally different thing. It doesn't look anything or taste anything like white people stuffing. But it's amazing.
Mind blown.
We just do both.
What's the stuff in the brown people stuffing that, like, if I was going to become, a cultural appropriator, and I was going to try to steal all your Egyptian stuffing secrets, what's, like, the thing? What's the game changer in that?
Well,
because there's game changers.
It's made out of, like, wheat before it's like green wheat.
Interesting.
It's, like, not even bready, like, regular stuffing. I'm so not a cook. This is going to be a terrible segment. I'm so sorry,
No, it's
Brian.
not. Well, who knows where this segment goes? I want to talk more about Christmas and stuff because I find the whole Christmas chaos fascinating. No, but there are game-changing ingredients in all, like, I don't want to say ethnic food, but I know it's ethnic food, like Greek, right?
Yeah.
So there is, like, America Greek food, which is, Greek.
Euros.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Euros are still, like, they're Grecian Greek.
That's true.
They're
And they're delicious.
traditional. Yeah.
Because you guys were talking about the shawarma on the show. I heard
Oh
you.
yeah. What about shawarma? I mean, I love Greek food. I love Mediterranean stuff. But what I'll say is that what I think is it's cool, and it's kind of a bummer when you go to Greece. I lived in Greece for like 6 months.
Wait, did you? That's
Yeah,
so cool.
right when I got out of college, I lived in
Look
Greece
at
for
you.
6 months.
Oh my God,
I was
that's
taking.
so white of you. I'm
It
just
was the most amazing.
I'm just kidding.
I mean, it was pretty white of me. I didn't learn one Greek word.
Nothing?
Nah, because they don't try to.
They don't-
People in Greece don't try to help you speak Greek. They
They're like,
don't
all
care.
right, dude.
And Greek women, they didn't give you the time of day. They
Really?
didn't even care. No,
They
they
didn't
wouldn't
like
even
the
try.
white boy.
No.
You'd
And
think they'd be interested in those blue eyes, but no.
Nah, you know what it is? It's there's so much more traditional Greek Greek values in Greek families, and only with the women though. Like it's such an unfair country to women in terms of the double standards.
Yeah.
Because women were like drilled only date Greek men. That's it. They did
Yeah.
not have the time of day for us, and they were gorgeous.
Yeah.
These Mediterranean women were just smoke shows.
I feel so bad for young
Yo.
college graduated Brian.
I thought I went to Greece. I went to Greece and hooked up with a woman from Libya.
Okay.
Like,
hey, at least you got some brown
North
love.
African. Yeah. A North African Muslim. I mean, we kind of hooked. We made out. It was like,
Dude, that's all you need. That's like the fun stuff.
yeah, no, I
You
know.
won't
But
get HPV.
at least probably not I mean, you could get a form of it, right? Is there some mouth
Wait,
form?
really?
I
Oh,
don't know.
I don't know.
I don't feel comfortable.
See, I'm not quite informed on that, Brian.
Yeah. Well, also you're married, so if you knew exactly all the strains of
You're like,
HPV, I'd be a little bit
"This is
concerned.
weird."
I'd be like, whoa, someone's on Ashley Madison. not trying to tell anybody.
Being a creep, Shereen.
But here's the thing, though. It's that Greek women, they just were drilled to only date Greek men. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
And they really were flat out bitchy to non-Greek men.
Well, that's just not nice.
If you didn't speak Greek, you were SOL completely,
Wow.
like me. But also, if you don't look Greek, people were also not down for it either. It's only in Greece. I think
Yeah.
when I talked to my buddy who's Greek, he said, oh, yeah, when Greek women leave Greece, yeah, they don't care. But when they live, most of them live at home, and their parents won't let them leave the house until they're engaged, which is weird.
So weird, but very true. That's the way it
So
goes.
weird. It's just like when you have those countries with those types of values, and I felt like it was a little bit of a mixture of like tradition. Oh, we stay, we keep.
Keep it in
We keep here, and we're a family until you leave. And also, like, just flat out, it's impossible to find an apartment in Athens.
Oh,
So they're just like,
real
I'm not
estate.
going anywhere.
Ah, forget it. I'm staying
But-
at mom's.
The dudes, though, this is where the double standard is. The men in Greece were just encouraged by their mothers to be
stop.
flat out
Man whore.
just man horse scumbags. Now, they were not encouraged to bring any of them home.
This is so weird. I don't understand. It's
weird.
Who do that? Like, why would you want your little sweet boy
Just
doing
out there
the
whoring it
nasty
up? Yeah,
with
with-
all these pervy ladies. Like, I don't understand why a woman would encourage that.
Like learning the hard way about the HPV strains.
Right? Like, I mean, I might be like, okay, like, let me not think about my son going and whoring it up, but I certainly wouldn't be like, hey, babe, do that, though. You should do that. That's a great idea.
I feel like
what?
I feel like in America, we just encourage people to go be young. So like subtly, we're like, "Hey, be young, wink, wink. Go, don't tell me about it, but just don't like in college, don't knock anybody up and don't get AIDS."
Yeah.
But we're kind of subtly saying that. Flat out though, mothers in Greece were just would straight up encourage their sons and pay money, not like prostitution, but pay money for like their sons to go out to club nights and buy a bottle for a table
And be free and
and
have
go
fun.
home and not do anything. And the Greek women that I knew that I was taking one class. Well, I'll talk about this in the next segment. We don't have enough time to get into what I was doing in Greece, but
Uh-oh.
it's wild. But they were flat out encouraged to go out and just experience everything and come home whenever. And they would have a plate of food on the table. They'd have all that. And Greek women were flat out just told, like, no, that's inappropriate. That's not how women conduct themselves.
Yeah.
But just that double standard just seems brutal.
And it's everywhere, really, let's be honest.
Well, yeah. Well, I think
it's everywhere.
I think that to a certain extent, I think women are clearly held to a different standard when it comes to like promiscuity and stuff.
Yeah.
But I really just don't. The way we approach it here in America is different.
I wonder if maybe there's like places in Europe where they're like, do it, girl. Get that.
Get it? Yeah, it's called Amsterdam. All right.
This is Nearly Informed with Brad and Brian.
What's up? Nearly Informed, rolling into segment 2. Shereen Thor hanging out today. Brad Nolan is lost in the radio station somewhere. Yeah, I know, right? We changed up the music every day. It's like every day I'm on the show. It's like, yeah.
It's good, yeah.
Makes us seem hip. Cool.
You're so hip, Brad.
Brad is lost in the radio station somewhere. That happens towards the end of the year.
I don't know, man.
It happens.
He's a busy dude.
Well, when a radio station, when you start going towards the end of the year, right? Like we have countdowns we have to voice. We have all these different things we have to do, and marketing budgets and concerts and stuff, and people aren't available until a certain time, and then it's like, hey, you're supposed to be, like, what are you doing? Get over here. But then it's just me and you today, so that's fine.
That's right.
That's fun.
We're going to talk about things.
We were just talking about Greece. The reason I got into, I started going down the road about Greece is because we were talking about the secret ingredients and things.
Oh, yes, food.
I mean, but that's how this show rolls.
Food is everything.
We kind of just go wherever. But here's the thing. The secret ingredient to gyros, I found it out when I was in Greece.
Okay.
I'll give you it's something you're not gonna think it is, but it's something that we eat abundantly in America. Like abundantly.
Really?
It comes with things. Yeah, it's
You got me on the edge of my seat,
I
Brian.
know, right? That should have been the tease. We're like, coming up next, what's in the gyro that you don't know about?
The crack that keeps him coming
The
back.
secret ingredient. French fries.
Wait, seriously?
I'm not even kidding you.
You're being
French
serious.
fries. I'm being 100% serious. In Greece, every single gyro you get at a restaurant, like from a street chef, vendor guy, like hot dog cart type thing, always have French fries in them. Every single one of them. And
Like just a whole French fry, just like in.
just a ton of them. Like,
Okay.
and various looks. Like some guys would make them with like the fat, thick, like steak fries. You get it like Red Robin.
Yeah.
And some you go to and they'd have like McDonald's looking French fries.
Interesting.
But French fries was the secret ingredient, and I totally understood because my secret ingredient on hamburgers every time I got something used to be French fries. Like I love French fries on hamburgers and potato chips on sandwiches. Are you that? Do you do that or no?
No, that is very white of you.
It is no. It depends on it depends on the
Oh my God,
chips.
so white.
It
Come
depends on the chips. Flamin' hot Cheetos.
Oh, okay. So you're getting all sexy with it.
Now
Putting
you
some
got
spice in
Well,
there.
but now you got
Now you confused me.
Flamin' hot Cheetos. That's a black thing. Okay. Yeah, I would say that sour cream and onion chips. That's mad white of me.
Okay.
That's about as mad white as
like
it gets.
Doritos.
But yeah, Greece was fun. I went out there to take one class, and the Mediterranean area is just so laid back, especially Greece in general. I'm not sure. I've never been to Italy, but I imagine like around anywhere on the Mediterranean is pretty chill, right?
Dude, I've never been to Greece. I'm so
It's
jealous.
so mellow. People,
Sounds amazing.
yeah, people just don't. Well, one, it's almost too mellow. Where you're like, hey guys, like, come on, get your ish together here.
Get a
Are
life,
you kidding me?
loser.
Yeah, you'd have to go do something, and just a McDonald's was closed for 2 hours because everyone was at home doing siesta because they do naps. They're all about that nap game, right? So
They know what's up.
yeah, I mean, my American values were like, are you kidding me?
Get to work.
Oh God, the hell is this?
Yeah, but we die early. We have strokes at the age of 70, and there are other zones in the world. Have you heard of this Blue Zones thing?
No, what are the
Let's
blue
geek
zones?
out on some life coach stuff right now.
Okay.
So
Blue Zone me up.
I think it's bluezones.com. I'm not positive. It might be bluezones.org. Whatever. It's basically a website. Blue
I
Zones.
trust it more if it's a .org, even though that means nothing. I mean,
Okay.
it's supposed to mean nonprofit and like,
Well, since we don't know.
but you know what I mean though, that scam.
Yes, yeah.
Like if I have mootecomedy.com, if I had mootecomedy.org, I feel like more people would
it's
buy
more legit.
CDs. They'd be like, oh yeah, I mean, he's probably doing something good with
He's
the
a
world.
good guy.
It's not just a .org.
Yeah, exactly. He's just a comedian. So the Blue Zones website. Okay, basically it's like tons of research behind there's these specific blue zones in the world, and what it means to be a blue zone is it basically means that the people in these regions live the longest with the least amount of disability, and they are the happiest.
Okay, so it's just
like-
a region of the country a region of the world.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's just specific zones where this happens. Like Denmark is one of them.
Okay.
Like there's like Loma Linda, California.
What's Loma
It's
Linda?
so weird.
Where is Loma Linda? Is that in Southern California?
It's
You know
gotta
what?
be-
You keep talking. I'm gonna
Yeah,
Google
yeah,
it
I'm like,
because I
you
feel
live-
like we could go. I could just move to Loma Linda and everything's gonna be all right.
Everything's gonna be all right.
Okay.
So anyway, basically,
it's a place where you go.
We were talking about the American values. Sorry, I was like, I even lost our train. Why did you even get on this? But the point is, our American values of like hard work and all this craziness and no siestas. This is what like drives us into the ground and has us stroking out and having a terrible end of our lives by like 70 versus these people live until their 90s and they're just like happy and healthy and they're thriving and then boom, they're out.
Loma Linda is out near Riverside and San Bernardino, California. I wonder. It's got to be a mixture of work stress. Diet has to be one.
Totally.
And like that kind of, and like that culture around that. So it would make sense that it'd be a collaborative thing. So like Denmark, I would imagine, well, I don't know. Amsterdam seemed healthy, but then again, they got a lot of whoring.
You know what though?
Yeah, that prostitution game is legal.
I'm just going to look at my Instagram right now because I did a post on the Power 9, the 9 things that make these blue zones cooler than us.
So how many blue zones are in the world? Seattle's got to be close to a blue zone, right? There's got to be some in Washington.
I don't know how many there are, but there's not that many actually.
Wow, so the rest of the zones are just garbage.
Brian,
You're just gonna...
stop asking me questions I don't know the answers to because
well, listen,
I sound like an idiot. Let me just tell you
coach.
what I know.
No one has to know you're reading off your phone unless you tell them you're reading off your phone.
I'm cool with that part, but I just keep saying, I don't know this, and I don't know that, and I'm basically useless.
I brought up the blue zone, and I have no earthly clue what the blue zone is.
It's been a while. It's been a while since I geeked out on this. Okay, so the first thing is like moving naturally. You move about every 20 minutes in your daily life. You're not like obsessed with like, meatheading it up at the gym.
Okay.
You just like move a lot. So like in New York when you get skinny because you walk a lot like that.
Right, you have no cards.
Exactly.
I try to walk more in my daily life as it is now. I go to the gym every day, but I also try to, if I'm going to go to my brother's house, Patrick, who lives a mile or so away, I'll try to walk. I'll make sure I try to walk that. Sometimes I'll try to walk at home, but sometimes it's like late at night, dark. Also, West Hollywood can be
a little sketch.
Listen, it can be a little sketchy.
Yeah.
It's like one of those neighborhoods where one block you're cool and the next block you're running into some prostitutes that are bigger than you. You know what I mean? And you're like,
and you're a big dude, so that's
yeah. And I'm like,
really
I don't. Hey, ladies. How do you identify? You know what I mean? I don't want to be rude right now.
Right.
That happens to me every morning when I park, not in the parking space in my building. I'll have to park down on the street Lexington. It's Lexington and Mansfield. And there's always like 4 or 5 larger women who like large, like in like beefcakes, like beefcake broads here.
Right.
And they're working. They're almost off the clock, and I'm about to start my day.
Okay.
And I give them a little tip of the cap just to try to like let them know, hey, I'm all good with what you're doing. I'm not gonna partake, but I'm all good with it.
No judgment here.
And every once in a while though, there's somebody who is like harassing them, like I'm assuming like a homeless person, not like a movie where there's some sort of like frat guy like what's up, hookers throwing beer cans at him. No, it's always like a homeless individual who's like strung out on something. And I think what happens is that this person strung out on drugs. This happened 2 days ago. Thinks that the folks that are working the corner are like peers. You know what I mean? So they're like go up and like, and they're like, yo, beat it. Just because I'm working the streets doesn't mean I live on the streets. I'm just working. This is just my hustle. You know what I mean? And there'll always be like some weird fracas. And there was one the other day when I was walking down the street and I was like, oh God, it's like right by my car. And I was like, I'm going to have to say something or at least be like, hey, you guys like mind putting that on hold while I back out of this space? But then I felt like that's a really irresponsible thing to do, to just pass up on breaking up a fight because you just don't feel comfortable in this setting. But also, the problem with folks that are coming down off a lot of crazy drugs is that they're unpredictable. Their behavior pattern is wildly unpredictable. I remember when I used to work at a shelter in Boston, they would say, hey, like you can't predict what some of these people are coming in on and what they're going to do, like how they're going to react. Like they're not going to fight necessarily, and maybe the things that they do you think they're trying to fight you, they're not, or the things they're doing they are trying to fight you and you don't know it. So they're always like, hey, just don't engage if someone is like clearly on drugs. Don't engage. Like radio for the we used to have a Massachusetts state trooper that would work in the building. Like he'd be doing paperwork upstairs, but if anyone needed anything, he'd come down. So there's always like a state trooper like putting in overtime that would be hanging out and making sure that everything went good during intake, because intake was when people would be coming in, especially in the wintertime, people would be coming in like just frozen. It was like frozen half to death and on something, which, I mean, if you're going to live on the streets, It's hard to say if the drugs got you there or if the drugs get you through it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like maybe.
Totally.
Sometimes I feel like I would get it. I'm like, man, if I had to sleep right here, I
Yeah.
would probably try to get. I've done that on airplanes. I'm not with hard drugs, but you know what I mean. Like
I have smoked crack on airplanes.
I have looked at a 5-hour flight and said, I'm not getting through this without heroin. I have done that situation.
Find Nearly Informed on Instagram and Twitter at Nearly Informed.
I have not done that. That was a gross exaggeration for comedic effect. I would never. I despise heroin and opiates. They're plague to this earth recreationally. I think for medicines and things like that, good, but also just horribly addictive. I realized that joke reference was harsh.
Hey, that's
The
okay.
heroin one. I'm not trying to. Yeah, it's just my sensibilities got the best of me there when I was like, you just made a heroin joke. I'm Brian Moote. We have Shereen Thor hanging out. I'm running on like 2 hours of sleep, I feel like, for the last 4 days.
Oh my God, you poor thing.
Well, it's just long.
Animating Santas.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, Santa Claus is only available to make phone calls, this week and next week to
That's
kids.
right.
And unfortunately, kids don't work around my schedule. Real pain.
Those
That I
freaking
can't just be
kids.
like, yo, guys,
Rude.
I'm only available from 12:30 to 2:30. And like, unfortunately, Brian, kids are in school then. Oh, I guess Santa can't
Oops.
make those calls.
So we only have 9 minutes until your next Santa call. You want me to shoot some more Blue Zone stuff, or is that too boring?
No, well, I'll call them a little later because we still got a couple segments left here. I want to get into the cluster F that is your Christmas when you have kids.
Really?
Because,
Okay.
it looked, when I looked at your Instagram story, you guys were putting up your tree already, and I got like, oh God, maybe that's going to have to be
Dude.
me someday.
I'll tell you the cluster F. It's Luke, okay?
He's the 2-year-old?
He is going to turn 2 in March, so he's like 21 months if I'm going to be an annoying mom and give you the real
Yeah, why do they do
number.
that? Why do they do the
I
month
don't know.
thing?
It's
is
stupid.
Is it because they grow so fast that you need clothes that
usually,
are broken down by month?
Usually people do it for the first 2 years, and I actually don't know why. I'm like, why don't you just do it for the first 1 year until the 1 year
Right.
mark? But they still, for some reason, do the months. Anyway, the point is he'll be 2 in March. We're
Okay,
almost there. In
gotcha.
3 months, he'll be 2, whatevs. And he's just a freaking maniac, dude. He just keeps going up to the freaking Christmas tree and taking the ornaments off the Christmas tree and throwing them all over the floor and breaking them. And I'm just like, why?
So do you have to put him like higher up, or is it'll just encourage him to try to learn how to climb for the first time?
Yeah, we have to put him higher up. He does try to climb, but I don't think there'd be a real way. There was a box next to the Christmas tree that he was jumping on top of, and we moved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We literally have had this Christmas tree not even for 24 hours. Like those Instagram stories were last night, and I'm already
Yeah.
like, you little a-hole, can you please?
Yeah, do you have to put like a baby gate around it?
I honestly think that's what we're gonna have to do, which is so annoying because then it doesn't even look nice. It's not even
Yeah.
all cute and adorable with the lights.
Then it's
No.
like a whole production to try to make it look nice so that you can have, like a good Instagram picture of it. Nobody wants to see your Christmas tree. It looks like it's in jail, like Christmas tree jail.
Exactly.
So how do you guys do your Christmas? What's your Christmas routine?
Well, with Kenny, like we will rotate.
Is it a
holidays.
super white Christmas?
It's like so white.
Is
You
the white?
wouldn't
Is it mad
know about
white?
this.
Is it a mad white Christmas?
Mad
You're like,
white.
this wasn't the white Christmas I was dreaming of. This is nerdy. I wanted snow. So you guys rotate
We
like 1
rotate.
year Thanksgiving.
Exactly. So this year we did Thanksgiving with his family in the Midwest. So we're going to be home here for Christmas in LA. So my mom will probably just
Midwest.
come over.
That's the whitest.
It's the whitest.
That's where white
Oh my
people
gosh, I was in
started.
Kansas City, Missouri.
That is pretty white.
It was so white. Like I was like,
But the
dude,
food there,
I'm
though.
like the one brown person here.
Yeah, I could see that being. I could see that
I was
being
like,
a thing.
Hey, guys.
So you do. But he lives out here, so he knows your parents pretty well.
Oh yeah,
Like
totally.
it's not. Do you get along with his parents the same way? How many siblings does he have?
He has 2 sisters.
2 sisters.
He's the oldest.
And they all live in Kansas City?
No, actually, his family's crazy. Like,
They're all spread out?
yeah, his mom and dad are in Indiana. His sister, her husband, and their 2 kids are in Kansas City, Missouri. His other sister, with her husband, and now she's pregnant, lives in San Francisco.
Okay.
And then we're in SoCal.
Do you guys do this? Do you guys get the hotel when you go visit family now? Because I have resorted to hotels. I hit that. I feel like that's a mile marker
That's
in
a
my.
grown-up, yeah.
It is, right? Like no more couches. I don't need to be like. No one needs to wake me up
Yeah.
at 6 a.m. with kids running around and throwing toys and stuff.
Exactly.
I'm not trying to save any money. even though it still pains me to book hotels for only myself, it pains me. It pains me because it seems so unnecessary.
Right.
But I always catch myself doing something where I'll go on, when I go back to Seattle, I'll go to like the hotels that I like. You know, like there's some like nice ones downtown. And I'm like, this area is cool. I'm going to go to the Comedy Underground and do all this fun stuff and be by Pike Place Market. But then, because I'll never be able to ditch my cheapskate broke guy sensibilities, I'll also check Airbnb, and then I'll just look just for reference at a few hostels.
Oh, that's
but like,
awesome.
I have to do it just to rationalize. Okay, $219 a night or whatever, $270 a night depending on the season is a lot. I don't want to do that,
That's
but
a lot.
it's not the worst. Like I'd rather.
You should stick with hotels, though, dude, because did you hear about that Airbnb situation that happened?
What happened with Airbnb?
Where this couple, they were going to Mexico to freaking celebrate their anniversary. They, like, check into their Airbnb, and they never come out because of carbon monoxide. They died.
Oh, shoot. I thought you were going to say it was like that movie, the movie Hostel, where you go and check in, and they're like,
horror film.
They just shut the door behind you, and you got to solve a riddle.
That, like, freaked me out. I'm like, that makes sense, because a lot of these Airbnbs are just kind of neglected. Like, you know, they're, like, sort of managed by someone who's, like, peripherally there, and
I've had pretty good Airbnb experiences. The one I stayed at in Seattle, it was in a cool part of town, but it was kind of a nerdy apartment, and the furniture was all tiny. It was like a tiny person who lived in it or something.
You're like, I'm not tiny.
And it was still their place, and they just stayed at their girlfriends and would Airbnb. And I want to stay at a place that's designed, like you have designed this for Airbnb. You know, like everything's. I don't open a closet and I'm like, oh God, there's everyone's stuff in here. I don't even know you. There's pictures on the wall that have families I don't know. I've had pretty good experiences. My brother Killian just had a crazy one in LA where he booked a place on Airbnb, and when they got there, the guy tried to switch it to a different place.
Uh-oh.
He was like, Killian was like, this does not look anything like the thing online.
Yeah.
For what I'm supposed to pay. And the guy was like, yeah, you know, I had a water main break, and, you know, there's all this and that and stuff, and, you know, we can't, and Killian was just getting a weird vibe from him.
Totally.
And so he goes, okay, hold on, man. You know what? I got to go home, go back to my brother's house. That's where my laptop's at, and I'll figure this out, but I'll give you a call in a little bit. And he went online and looked, and this guy had some reviews about some similar stuff where I think he manages an apartment building and tries to Airbnb out apartments before they get rented.
Oh.
Or something, furnished apartments, or when people are out of town, they can have him manage their it's a weird thing. So I think what it is that it's a building full of young people, and he says, hey, if you're going to be on the road or traveling, you know, let me know. I'll Airbnb your place out, and I'll give you some money. Like we'll split it, you know, and I'll take care of everything because I'm living here. But then someone will book a place, and then someone will say, hey, I'm actually not going to be out of town. So he tries to do this whole switcheroo thing.
Yeah.
So Killian ended up just going at Airbnb online and like telling him what the problem was, and they gave him $100 gift card. And then he booked a hotel. Cool. He booked the Roosevelt Hotel.
Okay.
Up on Hollywood Boulevard, which is a way better idea.
Living large.
But that's the thing with apps is that you can, if you just contest anything.
Yeah.
If you contest anything, they pretty much just go, whatever.
Here's some money.
Like if you do it on Uber Eats, if you contest on Uber Eats is just like, sure, man, they forgot your food. And they just refund it. They just refund it? Yeah, because they must be making so much money.
You're probably right about Uber Eats, actually, because I'm like, they refunded you? They didn't refund me. Because I used to use...
What did you do?
It wasn't Uber Eats, though. I started using Uber Eats to solve the problem. I can't even remember what...
Was it like the original? I mean, there's DoorDash, Postmates, but those ones are all kind of legit now.
It wasn't DoorDash and it wasn't Postmates. It was like something else that started with a G, but I kept having so many nights my whole family's hungry waiting for their food, and it just keeps getting pushed back, and finally like nobody's coming, and I'm like, dude, now we're all just angry and hungry. And they would be like, here's a credit for $5. Like they did not care. We were like, wow. Oh my God, dude.
We were in Atlanta, and we order from this bagel deli all the time, and near my townhouse, and I'm not even kidding you, like 3 orders in a row from Goldberg's Deli. They got it wrong for my girlfriend. And to the point at which the third time, or the next time it got right, I looked in the bag and I was like, God, please just be there. Because they always were screwing it up. And my order was always way more complex. It was like a bagel sandwich with like egg, double protein, some tomato slices, you know. And hers would be like, I just want a bagel with cream cheese. Like it's like hers is so easy. That's why they would forget it, I think.
Wow.
So the third time it happened, I got on the app and I was like, hey, this is like the third time this place has forgot the bagel.
Yeah.
So Uber Eats just comped the entire thing. They're like, all right, here's your $26 back, whatever.
Okay.
Though she called Goldberg's and started was like complaining to him. The manager ended up driving over a bagel with cream cheese, which she did not eat because at that point in time we'd already broken into the mimosas and she was like, screw it, dude.
Whatever.
Screw it, dude.
Forget this friggin' bagel.
Screw it, dude. I'm good.
Lit right now.
All right, we have one segment left to go, and I still want to get more into Shereen's Christmas. This has been one of those shows today.
This is Nearly Informed. If you like this show, find it on the radio.com app and subscribe.
Right, subscribe, y'all, and rate it 5 stars. Do that.
Do it.
Give me the 5-star ratings.
Get that.
Let's get paid.
You know you love some Brian and Brad.
And
the
other
occasional
folks.
Shereen and Pat and whoever.
Pat's going to be in. We're going to start having more guests. We're trying to get on a far more organized schedule for everything.
Very nice.
All right, we got about 5 minutes left. So Christmas is going to be. Is it going to be at the Santa Monica Thor compound, or do you guys go out to your parents' place?
You know what? Let's just be honest. Do you want the real truth?
Yeah.
It's a debacle every time. And the reason is because my mom likes everything at her house, and Kenny likes everything at his house. I freaking swear, Brian,
Oh, no.
I am married like the male version of my mother. Like, they just have such similar personalities.
Really?
And so I'm going to be like, where do we want to do it this year, guys? Just have to, like,
Are you
figure it out and mediate and whatever.
Yeah, but that's where your life coach skills have to come in to effect,
That's
right?
where my codependent skills come in. You know, hey, I'm a doormat. I'm a people pleaser. Let's just have harmony.
Whatever you guys want to do. I think that's actually kind of funny that because it's like I envision it, you being a life coach and trying to navigate your mom and your husband is like when you have a psychology degree or a counseling degree, and anytime, even when you're not trying to, you're having a conversation like, don't try to counsel me. Like, I know what you're doing. Your stupid little tricks, trying to, unleash the inner me. Get out of here.
Get out of here.
So what does it usually end up being? Who gives in first? Kenny's got to give in first, right?
No, my mom gives in.
Really?
She's more easygoing, actually.
Really?
Kenny's like an amazing dude, but he's certainly like set in his ways.
Like he's
he's a stickler.
I could see the situation like, hey, I've got a 1.5-year-old and I've got a 5-year-old.
Right.
And they're going to be all over the place. And to move them is like
a little more.
Is like moving an army. You have to have supplies.
Yeah.
You have to have equipment. You have to have gear. You have to have all this stuff.
Yeah.
So
damn, you're advocating for Kenny's side.
I am right now.
Honestly, originally I was leaning towards my mom. I was like, I'll just go to her place. She cooks. She'll make a freaking turkey. Like, we don't need to do anything. We just show up and we're good. And Kenny was like, well, it's really important to me. It's so funny. I'm really putting him on blast right now.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kenny. Hashtag.
He's
Not
good.
Sorry. He was like, it's really important to me to like wake up Christmas morning and open presents. Like,
yeah, that I could see that. As a father, if I was a dad, I would want my house, my kids, my Christmas tree. You know what? If I want to go for a walk in the neighborhood, if we get Luke a bike with training wheels,
right.
I want it to be able to go out on the street in the driveway in front of the house.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to cart all that stuff back. Now, I would say that in my growing up, we would always do Christmas morning at our house, but then we had to be on a ferry boat to Seattle to go to somewhere in Seattle. There'd be a big family thing, like at my Aunt Carrie's house, my grandparents' house when they were alive. So then it was kind of like a 2 Christmas thing, but mornings were always at our house.
Yeah.
So I support him there, but I also will say that on your side of the coin, I could see why it's appealing to just say, listen, dude, she's going to cook, she's going to clean, she's going to listen, all we got to do is arrive.
Yes.
That's all we have to do. We just have to drive safely and show up, and the kids can tear stuff apart. And you know what? Luke might break something. But you know what? That's not our stuff.
It's not our stuff. We're not going to care.
Grandma's stuff, and Grandma might be mad, but she loves Luke more, so it'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
So I totally understand that because there is that level of, when you host things, you get to control more, but you also have
more work.
Just relentless cleanup after the fact.
Relentless cleanup.
And cooking.
And I have this thing with my mom. Like, I always want things to be easy for her. Like, this is my own codependent nature with my mom. Like, I'm just like, I don't want to make her, like, pack up all this food and bring it over. Because let's be honest, she's going to cook regardless.
Yeah, right.
Like, she knows how to cook. I don't really. I mean, I could do a few things, but I'm certainly not even near the level of chef that she's, like, got. Like, she kills it.
Well, like we said earlier, she's got brown people magic.
She's got brown people magic.
She knows the spices that she just knows that if she adds a spice to anything, that something good is going to happen.
And it'll be like a party in everyone's mouth, and then everyone's going to be happy.
See, with white people, I just think the secret ingredient that we think we can add to everything is just bacon and cheese.
Yes.
And ranch.
And those are certainly magical.
I mean, they're great, but it's like, it's like, yo, guys, this isn't like, you just threw bacon inside. I remember my dad. My dad was like, Brian, you know one of the secrets to making a good burger? Throw bacon inside with the beef. I'm like, Dad, that's just like a bacon burger. He's like, no.
No.
Oh, my God, are you ridiculous? The bacon's inside the burger, Brian. I'm like, yeah, Dad, but it's still like it's still a bacon burger. Like, no, it's totally different when you put the cheese in. You like, blend the cheese up with the meat. I'm like, it's still a bacon cheeseburger. He's like, no, because you still put bacon and cheese on it. Well, then it's just a double bacon cheeseburger. No, Brian, you just don't get it. You're never gonna understand.
Get it.
You'll understand when you have kids.
You know, your dad sounds surprisingly similar to your Santa.
I think I have one impression, and it's a mixture between Ron Burgundy, Donald Trump, and I don't know who else.
I like it.
All right, so you're going to go. Kenny's going to win this one out. I'm proud of Kenny, actually. That's good. You got to stand up to the mother-in-law. You can't just let her push you around, even though she makes great food.
Nobody
just
pushes
she's going to bring it over anyway. Is she going to? Will she cook and clean at your house, though?
Yeah, she'll come over and she'll help us out. Like, maybe, what I want to do is I want to learn. Like, how do you make a turkey? Like, I want to learn from my mom this time. I think it's easier for her if I, go to her place and learn. Brad just showed up. What's up, dude?
I told you, he's busy. He roams the hallways.
Dude, just, say what's up on the mic. Give us a little hack. Dude, your beard is legit. Hey, there he is.
Is it still a thing happening?
Yeah, you made it, the last 2.5 minutes.
You are ridiculous right now.
He looks confused. Dude.
Yeah.
He looks like he just woke up.
I thought you were done. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to come in.
No,
no.
I like it.
But listen,
this is like a cameo.
It's a lot of pressure though, Brad, because we're sitting here at the end of the show, and if you're gonna come in with a cameo, you got to come in strong so we can thunder out with something.
All right, what are we talking about?
We're talking about in-laws, and Shereen's husband won the battle of having Christmas at their house versus mother-in-law's house.
Congratulations.
Yes, good job for Kenny.
Where's mother-in-law's house?
Pasadena.
Okay, you got nothing. Listen, I'm so sick and tired of driving to Denver or flying to Seattle.
That's a good point.
All of my family can screw off. Unless, of course, you're going to donate to my GoFundMe so I can get my transition course done for this pilot stuff. If you're going to donate, then maybe I'll visit you. But if not,
give me
I'm
money
done
first.
traveling. In-laws can go away. I'm done traveling.
Brad's taking inventory. He's got a GoFundMe right now. Go find it at Brad Nolan on Twitter.
Yeah, I got to find
He's got a link up there.
I do not. It's private.
Oh, it's a private GoFundMe. So you know what? Tweet at him at Brad Nolan and ask if you can get private access to his GoFundMe.
Ridiculous.
I do appreciate that he made it private though, because I'm sick of people running to GoFundMe every time something happens. I saw someone who was just moving apartments 2 weeks ago, and they're like, "Hey, started to GoFundMe. We're moving to a new place, and moving's expensive, man." I'm
Help.
like, "You suck a D, you idiot. Buy pizza. That's how you get us. That's how you do it. You buy some pizza." All right, that's gonna do it for us today. Brad came in strong. Got to vent a little
Killed
bit.
it.
He ain't driving to Denver anymore unless you donate to his GoFundMe.
This is Nearly Informed. If you like this show, find it on the radio.com app and subscribe.
Celebrate Venus Fashion Week and discover the new fall fashion collection at Venus. And for a limited time, get a $40 reward code good on your next purchase when you spend $100 and use promo code BOOTS. Just go to Venus.com and save during Venus Fashion Week.